How are you growing people on LinkedIn right now?
And the core mechanism is what I always tell clients is like X, you can get like super meteoric growth, and LinkedIn is like almost guaranteed consistent growth.
What would be your best tip on making a good impression on people so you can start building your network of like a good circle?
If you don't have a lot of friends, you're probably going to struggle in this department.
People like do
Right.
overcomplicate networking.
To network with people that are way above you, just buy their shit.
Marcus, I have some cool questions for you. How are you growing people on LinkedIn right now? That's super. I've been watching some of your clients grow and I'm like amazed. Explain.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's shit.
No, I like in comparison to all the other agencies, because I know them, like your client growth is insane. Like we all talk about you, and I'm just like, yeah, Marcos is the
What?
shit.
Is this
Yeah.
recorded? I'm gonna fucking I'm putting that on the timeline. No, the way we do it, I mean, we're just repurposing the content from X and just commenting. It's like that's it.
Do you have
It's
like
like,
for your clients, you have like specific VA inside their accounts commenting?
yeah. So I have an ops person in my company who does everything on the ops side from Twitter, and for Twitter and LinkedIn. And
Mm-hmm.
she is doing all of the comments, replying to comments, putting out comments, etc. Also kind of like a additional thing. We don't do this for everyone, but a lot of times we have setters who are doing like connection requests, like that helps. But that's not like the core mechanism. The core mechanism is content plus comments, that we're using
How
right now.
how many comments a day do you reckon?
It's got to be like at least like 25 to 50. It's not like a crazy amount, as well as like responding to everyone, that then comments on your thing and like creating, because it ends up being a lot. And then also a cool one is the kind of like a play on the auto DM giveaways on Twitter, but like this is like a piece of alpha, but we just did one for a client and it was like a comment this word, and he got like 500 comments, and because people wanted like a spreadsheet, so that's
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
pretty well too.
So was
Yeah.
it like the spreadsheet swipe GIF that you post and you're like, do you want this for free? Or like with a
I
screenshot of
literally
what it
just
looks
posted
like?
it. It was a blurred screenshot.
Blurred. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
works
it was
so
it,
well.
and then the black hat reason that works is that they have to connect with you to get the
Yeah.
DM. So they
Mm-hmm.
actually, it's not
Follow
like
you.
you, yeah, they literally have to follow you. They don't have a choice. It's unlike Twitter where you can have
Yeah.
public DMs. Yeah.
So, okay, so alpha is for you for LinkedIn content growth for clients would be posting, then engaging. It doesn't have to be a lot. 15 comments a day would be enough, plus responding to comments and then DM giveaways if that works.
Yeah,
Nothing
but that
massive.
again, that's new. Like the last for the whole year, it's really
Yeah.
just been content and comments. We do. I mean, I asked you for how you did it, which is how we do it now. I
Yeah.
actually just had a client. I just signed a client this morning who was like, "Oh, I might bring in a LinkedIn consultant," and I was like, "Oh, I'll refer you to my friend Lara." But keep in mind, we know what we're doing on LinkedIn because she consulted for us before we did it. So he was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, nice,
Oh,
signed."
2 for 1.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, no, I like the fact that you're saying only 15 to 20 because Luke Matthews, for example, he'll preach about commenting for 5 to 10 hours a day on LinkedIn, but that is not achievable for everyone. So if your clients are growing well, like the content is the main driver, and then commenting
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
like a little bit of help.
Yeah, yeah, it's like less, like 50 is high. Like it's probably less. It's like 25 to 50. It's like generally between there.
And do you do paid distribution on LinkedIn?
I don't even know how to do paid distribution on LinkedIn. I'm like a LinkedIn noob. I don't if I knew how to do it well, I'd probably charge for it, but we just give it to our clients for free as like a value add. But you got paid
Mm.
distribution, hit me up.
I don't know. I don't know it, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure there
but
is. If I find that,
uh,
I'll let you know.
yeah, on average, like just looking at like a client. I'm not sharing my screen, right?
No.
All right, don't lie. On average, our clients grow uh, like on LinkedIn, just looking at it, like anywhere from like 1 to 500 followers a month. It's like super chill.
Mm.
What I always tell clients, I have like a couple anomalies, of course, but what I always tell clients is like X, you can get like super meteoric growth with us, and LinkedIn is like almost guaranteed consistent growth. Like I've never had someone not grow. Like LinkedIn is
Mm.
it's pretty guaranteed. It's like a layup for growth. So if I was gonna sell the service it's very easy to fulfill on compared to like X, where X you can just get zero.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
Right. Anyone else got any questions? I'd honestly ask Marcos more questions because he is the GOAT when it comes to growth. So yeah. Okay, wait, I have a question. Do you do reporting for your clients? Like, do you report back like on analytics, etc., every month, every week? What do you do?
We report every week on analytics,
Okay.
followers,
Yeah.
views, etc. Yeah.
So like through email, Slack, Telegram.
Slack, yeah.
Nice.
And
Okay.
we also
And
weekly design everything, all of the Twitter content into a carousel through Canva that they can then
mm,
repurpose onto other platforms. Why, you want to
okay.
be a client?
And yes, please. Okay. And then what if like for some reason everything's red, like no growth, no followers, no leads?
Sad days. In terms of like the reporting or just in general?
Yeah, like in reporting. So if you're like committing
Yeah.
to a weekly reporting, you have to be like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, clients, what I found is from a retention perspective is that clients just want an explanation. Like if I report shit and to be fair, clients who've been with us for, a year, they're not going to be hung up on a 1 week of results, right? They know that in the grand scheme, they're going to grow. But new clients, for example, first 2 weeks, only got like 10 followers, something like that. They're going to probably ask questions. And they just expect that you have some sort of expert answer. So what I'll usually say is, yeah, those threads didn't hit or this content didn't hit. We're looking to shift to maybe this angle or this angle, stuff like that. And then typically they'll get into a bit of more collaborative state instead of a desperation state, and they'll maybe give an idea or think that's a good idea or like what's your new angle, and I'll give it to them and stuff like that. So it's more like having an answer. Don't just be like, oh, the algorithm. Like you're gonna get fired.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like that. Yeah. I hate when people go like, oh, it's because of the algorithm. Like the algorithm is
It's
not
never the
like it's
it's
always
never the
changing. It's never the algorithm.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
could go on
agree.
forever, but like my thoughts on the algorithm is that the algorithm has to show somebody's content, right? It
Yeah.
has to. Nobody's
Yeah.
logging in. There's nothing there. You logging in, it's a black screen. Okay, now it's the algorithm. But if you're logging in and there's content, somebody won that day on the algorithm. And it
I
just
think
wasn't you because you suck.
yeah, the algorithm thing excuse only works once. After you use it once, you can't really use it again.
Right. And they're like, oh, well, paid engagement. Well, you think everything you saw in the algorithm was paid? Now everybody's paying. Everybody all of a
Mm,
sudden is rich. Like, no, again, you suck. So just get better.
yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I could go on
Well,
forever.
no, no, same. Like I will go on a rant with you about this. Amazing. Okay, so what do you prefer for now then? Twitter is always going to be your thing, not LinkedIn. So when people say LinkedIn is the new thing, you disagree.
I mean, now that I offer it, I'm like, true bestie, let's sign. Like LinkedIn's great. LinkedIn, like I said, like I've never had a client not grow.
Yeah,
It's so much better when it comes to consistent growth. If I post, I grow. Even if I don't post, I grow. It's
I
weird.
know.
You just
It's
grow.
crazy. I
It's
know.
like
I'm
a
seeing
growth.
it.
The growth on LinkedIn is so easy and consistent. The amount that you grow is more skill related, but again, Twitter to me is more meteoric and profitable. You also just like get more influence, like who has more
Fact.
influence in the real world, a LinkedIn influencer or a Twitter influencer. I'd say a Twitter because Twitter's like kind of like where all the news goes. Like nobody's going to LinkedIn for news. So I like Twitter better. I'm also biased. I've been on Twitter for 13 years, so I'm a Twitter maxi. But I 100% love LinkedIn, and I plan on offering it for the foreseeable future. Thanks to you.
I agree. Well, you're welcome. Baris, you have a question. I would say is like don't overcomplicate your interview questions. Like just do the interview and then you'll get ideas. And also try not hop on too many calls with them because like Marcus said, the more you make them do, the less they'll want to pay you. I've lost clients because I wanted to have them on calls every single week for like an hour. So just make it easy for them, like as easy as possible. Like you can literally source information from their website, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever they are. Just ask key pieces of information and then you're good.
Was it Farouk that just requested me on LinkedIn? My sales guy's like, "Hey, do you know this guy?"
One last question before we leave. You had a really good point on getting mutuals with people on Twitter. So what would be your best like tip on making a good impression on people so you can start building your network of like a good circle?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like back to where it's relevant. So part of this is like on like part of it is definitely social skills. Like if you don't have a lot of friends, you're probably going to struggle in this department. But like for me, it's like it's very much more like a connecting thing. Like I try to connect with people who are just not competing with me and just try to like give people like it sounds weird, like give people value, but like actually, like I'd be like, hey, like saw you're doing like that's sick. And I'll start to like engage with people first on the timeline and then take it to the DMs, kind of like at a bar, right? Like, or like a yeah, like you talk to them first, then you take them like more
It's like
personal.
dating.
That's exactly what it is. I was gonna say something worse, but it's like it's basically like that. And then eventually, like nowadays, it's more like referrals, right? Like everyone, you make intros for connections because there's a lot of synergy. But especially starting off, it's like on the timeline first. Like you're. This is the best advice I have. You're in a cohort now. Everyone in this cohort is who you're going to essentially come up with. 90% of you are probably going to fail. So the 10% of you that come out, you guys are now going to have sick network with each other, and you guys with each other are going to be a network, and you guys will then introduce each other's to your network, and it works like a web. So when I was coming up, I was in a $50 a month community and then the 2K a month community, and I just reinvested in more of these cohorts like Client Ascension and others, right? And I met people in those, and then they've given me referrals and it kind of just webs. It's like, how do you explain networking, right? But that's my best explanation.
Yeah, like the way we connected, like it was just through, I don't
I don't
know,
even
something
remember.
random. Yeah, like you were trying to help me, or I was, yeah, something like that, or I asked you
Yeah,
a
well,
question, something like
yeah,
that.
like I saw some of your stuff and I liked it. Like literally just what I said. I liked some of your stuff. Eventually I tossed you a follow. Eventually one of us DM'd each other and we were just talking about, oh, like you're like LinkedIn, I'm like Twitter.
Oh
Let's
yeah, no, I
talk.
remember now. I was literally stalking your Twitter profile, and then the next day, I think one of my tweets popped up on your um
Mhm.
feed, and then you
Mhm.
liked and commented, and then we became friends. That it's that simple. People like do
Right.
overcomplicate networking, but usually like everybody wants to just be friends with everyone in this industry. Like
Yeah.
everybody just wants a friend. No one wants to like ignore you, especially if you
Yeah.
have
I
value.
100%. I will say I've always been like a really naturally gifted networker. So it's like very harder. It's a lot harder to explain, but honestly, the best way if to network with people that are way above you, just buy their shit. Like how'd you
Mm-hmm.
network with Dakota? You bought his shit. Now he's gonna follow you. You know what I mean? Like that's what I did with JK. He followed me, he referred me a client, then that client referred me a client, right? It didn't wouldn't have happened if I didn't pay JK money. So like I just join things. I just buy things. Like that's just how it goes.
But then
It's all
after,
value.
like you have to, then after you buy the thing, just make sure that you're using it right and that you're
Hmm.
making that person that you bought something from feel like
Yeah.
they're worth it after,
I
you
I
know?
call it so if you want to call it friend, I used to call it the star student method. So it's like if you are the star student, you will get recognized. I was on JK's podcast because I was his
Yeah.
number one testimonial. Like I
Yeah.
crushed it. So JK put me on his podcast. JK followed me. He retweets me. He tweets
Mm-hmm.
about me. And that's how I kind of became the star student of someone that was really big. Then a bunch of people from his following started following me. And you see how that can snowball. So the star student method. I'm gonna drop a course.
Damn. Yeah, that's like I think that's what happened with Dakota and Taylor, I guess. And then they became best friends, and that was like a
Right.
forever thing. So yeah,
And I became a
just be the
coach
star
in
student.
JK's. Yeah, and I became a coach in JK's thing. Like,
Yeah.
cause
So it always
yeah,
pays off to be the best. So always be a high overachiever, a teacher's
it's
pet,
just
I think.
value. Like, if you have no value, your only value is probably going to be money. And
I
then
always
as
tell
you
people,
actually
yeah.
have results, yeah, it's like you
I
have no
always tell
value to
people
give but
try,
money.
yeah, try to become the asset always. Like, how can you become someone's best asset and just leverage the fuck out of that and just run with it?
Hmm. Totally.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to drop, Marcos? Has been so insightful.